The fluorescent lights buzzed like angry hornets as Officer Elena Ramirez slammed the interrogation room door shut, her eyes locking onto mine with an intensity that made my pulse race. "You think you can just walk away from this mess, Scarlett? Because I know the truth and it's tearing me apart." Her voice cracked, not with anger, but with something raw and unspoken, pulling me into a whirlwind I never saw coming. In the heart of Manhattan, where the skyscrapers pierced the sky like jagged dreams, I, Scarlettandra Scarlett Harper, had built a life out of fragments. At 28, I was a freelance journalist chasing stories that exposed the underbelly of the city, corruption in the NYPD, shady deals in Wall Street backrooms. My latest scoop involved a whistleblower from the precinct, alleging evidence tampering in a high-profile drug bust. Little did I know, that story would lead me straight into the arms of the woman who would upend my world. It started on a crisp autumn evening. I was huddled in a dimly lit cafe on the Lower East Side, sipping black coffee and poring over leaked documents on my laptop. The whistleblower, a nervous rookie named Mike, had slipped me a USB drive earlier that day. "This could blow everything wide open," he'd whispered, his eyes darting like a hunted animal. As I scrolled through files detailing falsified reports and missing evidence, my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Stop digging, or you'll regret it." I ignored it, of course. Journalists like me thrived on threats. They meant we were onto something big. But as I stepped out into the bustling street, the world shifted. Sirens wailed in the distance, growing louder until a squad car screeched to a halt beside me. 2 officers jumped out, but it was the woman leading them who caught my breath. Tall with olive skin, dark hair pulled into a tight bun, and eyes like stormy seas. Officer Elena Ramirez, her badge read. "Scarlettandra Harper," she barked, her voice authoritative yet laced with an undercurrent I couldn't place. "You're coming with us for questioning." I protested, demanding to know the charges, but they cuffed me anyway, the cold metal biting into my wrists. The ride to the precinct was silent, save for the crackle of the radio. Elena drove, her gaze flicking to the rearview mirror more than once, meeting mine in a way that felt personal. At the station, they ushered me into a sterile interrogation room. Elena removed the cuffs with surprising gentleness, her fingers brushing my skin. "Sit," she commanded, but her tone softened as the door closed behind her partner. We were alone. "Why am I here?" I demanded, rubbing my wrists. She leaned against the table, arms crossed. "Your source, Mike? He's been feeding you lies. And now you're implicated in evidence tampering." My heart sank. Mike had seemed genuine, but doubt crept in. "Implicated? That's bullshit. I'm the one exposing the corruption." Elena's expression hardened, but there was a flicker regret. "You don't understand, Scarlett. This goes deeper. People I care about are involved." The interrogation dragged on for hours. She grilled me on every detail, her questions sharp but fair. As the night wore on, the barriers crumbled. She shared snippets of her life. Growing up in a rough Brooklyn neighborhood, joining the force to make a difference, the toll it took on her relationships. "I've lost friends, family. Love," she admitted, her voice dropping. I found myself opening up too. About my estranged parents who never accepted my sexuality, my string of failed relationships with women who couldn't handle my chaotic career. By dawn, the room felt less like a prison and more like a confessional. As I was released with a warning, "No charges, just to stay out of it," Elena slipped me her card. "Call if you need anything. And Scarlett, be careful." I didn't call right away. But the seed was planted. Days turned into weeks, and the story consumed me. I dug deeper, uncovering links to a sergeant named Vargas, Elena's mentor. He was the one tampering evidence, protecting a cartel connection. When I confronted Mike, he confessed. Vargas had coerced him into misleading me to flesh out leaks. Furious, I stormed to Elena's precinct. She met me in the lobby, her uniform rumpled from a long shift. "What are you doing here?" "Vargas is dirty," I blurted. "And you're covering for him?" Her face paled. "Not here," she hissed, pulling me into a side room. There in the dim light, she broke. "He's like a father to me. But if it's true, I can't let this slide." That conversation sparked something electric. We met secretly, coffee shops, late-night walks in Central Park. Elena opened up about her own struggles, coming out in a macho police culture, the isolation. I shared my fears of vulnerability. Our talks turned intimate, hands brushing, eyes lingering. One rainy evening under the shelter of a gazebo in the park, she kissed me. Soft, tentative, then passionate. "I've never felt this way," she murmured against my lips. "But it's dangerous." I pulled her closer. "Worth it." Our romance blossomed in stolen moments. She showed me the real New York, hidden jazz bars in Harlem, quiet spots along the Hudson. I introduced her to my world. Underground art scenes, protests for LGBTQ rights. For the first time I felt seen, loved without conditions. But shadows loomed. Vargas grew suspicious. He cornered Elena one day. "That journalist? Stay away. She's trouble." She deflected, but the pressure mounted. Then came the betrayal. Mike, desperate, sold me out to Vargas. One night, as Elena and I dined in a cozy Italian spot in Little Italy, her phone rang. Her face drained of color. "They know about us." And the story. We raced back to my apartment, hearts pounding. Inside it was ransacked, laptop gone, notes shredded. A note on the table. "Back off or she pays." Elena trembled. "This is my fault. I should have stopped you." "No," I insisted, holding her. "We fight together." But doubt crept in. Was she protecting me or Vargas? The drama intensified as we navigated trust issues, her loyalty torn between duty and love. The days following the break-in were a blur of paranoia and passion. Elena moved in temporarily, her presence a comforting anchor amid the chaos. We'd lie awake in my small Brooklyn loft, the city lights filtering through the blinds, whispering plans to expose Vargas without endangering each other. "I joined the force to protect people like us," she said one night, tracing patterns on my arm. "Immigrants, queers, the forgotten. Vargas taught me that, but now he's become the monster." Her vulnerability drew me deeper. I'd never been with someone so strong yet fragile. Our love was a sanctuary, gentle touches, shared laughter over takeout Chinese, dreams of a future beyond the batch. But reality intruded. I received anonymous calls. Heavy breathing, threats. Elena's shifts grew erratic. She came home exhausted, eyes haunted. "They're watching me," she confessed. We decided to go public with the story, but carefully. I reached out to a trusted editor at the New York Times. As I prepared the article, Elena provided insider details, off the record, of course. The night before submission, we celebrated prematurely with wine on the rooftop. The Manhattan skyline twinkled like stars. "To us," she toasted, her kiss tasting of hope. But betrayal struck like lightning. The next morning I woke to Elena gone, a note on the pillow. "I'm sorry. I have to fix this alone." Panic surged. I called her precinct off duty. Her phone went to voicemail. Rushing to the station, I demanded answers. A colleague shrugged. "She met with Vargas last night. Haven't seen her since." My world shattered. Had she turned on me? Sold out to protect her mentor? I published the story anyway, front page bombshell. NYPD sergeant implicated in evidence tampering scandal. The city erupted, protests, media frenzy. But Elena vanished. Weeks passed in agony. I drowned in what-ifs, my apartment echoing with her absence. Friends urged me to move on. "She's a cop, Scarlett. They stick together." Then a breakthrough. A tip from an anonymous source led me to a dingy motel in Queens. Heart-pounding, I knocked on room 213. Elena opened the door, disheveled, eyes red-rimmed. "Scarlett." "How?" I pushed inside. "What the hell? You left me." She collapsed into a chair. "Vargas threatened you. Said he'd frame you for everything if I didn't back off." I went to confront him, gather proof. Tears streamed. I recorded him admitting it all. But he found out, attacked me. I barely escaped. Bruises marred her arms, evidence of the struggle. Relief mixed with anger. Why not tell me? I couldn't risk you. I love you too much. We embraced, the dam breaking. That night, in the motel's scratchy sheets, we reaffirmed our bond. Not with words, but with quiet understanding. She played the recording, Vargas's confession, clear as day. Together, we turned it over to internal affairs. The arrest made headlines. Hero cop exposes corrupt mentor. Elena was hailed, but the toll was heavy. Suspension pending investigation, whispers of disloyalty. Our relationship deepened amid the drama. We attended therapy, unpacking trust issues. Elena came out publicly, joining LGBTQ advocacy groups. I wrote a follow-up piece on police reform, highlighting her courage. But peace was fleeting. Vargas, out on bail, sought revenge. He leaked personal details, our relationship, my past. Tabloids twisted it. Lesbian love affair sinks in one hero? Hate mail flooded in. Elena's family, conservative immigrants, disowned her. You're bringing shame. Her mother spat over the phone. The emotional storm raged. We argued, me accusing her of regretting us, her lashing out in pain. One explosive night. Maybe this was a mistake, she yelled. I stormed out, wandering rain-soaked streets. Hours later, she found me on a bench in Washington Square Park. Don't leave me, she begged, rain mingling with tears. You're my everything. We reconciled, vowing resilience. The human element shone through, our love a beacon against hate. As the trial loomed, tension peaked. Witnesses recanted. Evidence vanished. Vargas's cartel ties ran deep. Elena testified, voice steady. I loved him like family, but justice matters more. The courtroom drama was intense. Cross-examinations, revelations. I sat in the gallery, heart in throat, as Elena bared her soul. In a twist, Mike flipped, corroborating everything. Vargas was convicted, life sentence. Victory tasted bittersweet. Elena was reinstated, promoted. But scars remained. We moved to a quiet suburb upstate, seeking normalcy. Picnics by the lake, lazy Sundays. Our love evolved deeper, more nuanced. Yet, whispers of doubt lingered. Was it all worth it? The answer came in small moments. Her smile over coffee, hands intertwined at pride parades. Life post-trial settled into a rhythm that felt almost too ordinary after the whirlwind. Elena and I rented a cozy cabin in the Catskills, a far cry from Manhattan's frenzy. Mornings were filled with birdsong and fresh coffee, evenings with walks under starlit skies. She traded her uniform for civilian clothes most days, working desk duty while rebuilding her reputation. But the drama wasn't over. Old wounds festered. Elena's nightmares woke us, reliving the attack, Vargas's betrayal. I'd hold her, whispering assurances. You're safe now. We're safe. My own demons surfaced. The exposure had cost me gigs. Editors shied from controversial journalists. I freelanced sporadically, channeling energy into a book about our story. A memoir of love amid corruption. One crisp fall day, as leaves turned gold, Elena received a letter. Anonymous, postmarked Brooklyn. You think it's over? Watch your back. Fear reignited. We installed security, but paranoia crept in. Elena grew distant, burying herself in work. I need to protect us, she'd say, evading intimacy. The rift widened. I confided in a friend, Sarah, another queer journalist. Over drinks in a Greenwich Village bar, I poured out my heart. She's pulling away. What if she regrets everything? Sarah listened, empathetic. Give her time. Trauma doesn't vanish. But time bred suspicion. I noticed Elena's late nights, secretive calls. One evening I confronted her. Who's on the phone? She hesitated. Just work. Liar, I snapped. The argument escalated. Accusations flying. Are you seeing someone? Protecting Vargas's ghost. Hurt flashed in her eyes. How could you think that? After everything. She stormed out. Hours later she returned, face ashen. The letter. It's from Vargas's son. He's threatening revenge. Why hide it? To shield you. But you're right, we faced this together. We reported it, but the sun vanished. The uncertainty gnawed. Amid the tension, romance flickered. A weekend getaway to Niagara Falls rekindled sparks. Standing by the thundering waters, mist enveloping us, Elena proposed. Marry me, Scarlett. Let's build a life unbreakable. Tears mingled with spray. Yes. Planning the wedding brought joy. Venue hunting in Vermont, dress fittings. Friends rallied, our community a shield against hate. But betrayal lurked. Sarah, my confidant, confessed feelings for me. I've always loved you, she admitted over coffee. Shocked, I rebuffed her. I'm with Elena. She apologized, but the seed of doubt sprouted. Elena found our texts, innocent but misconstrued. Is this why you've been distant? she accused. The fight was brutal. You don't trust me, I yelled. Because everyone leaves, she retorted, voice breaking. We separated briefly, me crashing with a friend, her in the cabin. The pain was excruciating. A void where love once bloomed. Reflection hit hard. I realized my insecurities mirrored hers. Calling her, voice trembling. I miss you. Let's talk. We met at our favorite park bench. Tears flowed as we unpacked layers, childhood rejections, past heartbreaks. We're both scared, she said. But our love is real. Reconciliation was sweet, therapy guided. We emerged stronger. Wedding vows infused with hard-won wisdom. The ceremony was intimate. Under autumn leaves, surrounded by allies. In sickness and health, through betrayal and triumph, we pledged. Honeymoon in California. Beaches, wine country. Laughter returned, passion reignited in gentle, affirming ways. Back home, the threat resurfaced. Vargas's son was arrested, stalking charges. Relief washed over us. Our story inspired others. Elena spoke at conferences on queer rights and law enforcement. I published the book, Badge of the Heart, a bestseller. Yet humanity's complexity shone. Elena's family reached out tentatively, a olive branch. We visited, bridges mending slowly. In quiet moments we'd reflect. The drama forged us, romance sustained us, humanity redeemed us. Years blended into a tapestry of shared life. At 32, I balanced writing with advocacy, co-founding a nonprofit for LGBTQ journalists. Elena, now Captain Ramirez, led diversity initiatives in the NYPD. Her story a catalyst for change. But life threw curves. A health scare. Elena's routine checkup revealed a lump. Benign, thank God, but it shook us. I can't lose you, I whispered in the hospital, holding her hand. The ordeal deepened our bond, reminding us of fragility. We adopted a rescue dog, Max, his joyful energy filling our home. Drama resurfaced subtly. My book tour took me cross-country, separation straining. In San Francisco, an old flame resurfaced, Jamie from college. Over drinks, nostalgia flowed. You've changed, she said, eyes lingering. Temptation flickered, but loyalty won. I called Elena that night. I love only you. Her response. Come home soon. Upon return, we renewed vows privately on a Hudson cruise. Forever, we toasted. Betrayal came from unexpected quarters. A colleague of Elena's, jealous of her rise, leaked fabricated scandals, alleging favoritism in promotions. The media pounced. Lesbian captains rise. Merit or agenda? Protests erupted outside the precinct. Supporters versus bigots. Elena stood firm, addressing the crowd. Love doesn't diminish duty. It strengthens it. I rallied allies, op-eds countering lies. The investigation cleared her, but damage lingered. Trust eroded among peers. Emotional fallout was raw. Elena doubted her path. Maybe I should quit, I encouraged. You're changing lives. Don't let them win. We volunteered at shelters, aiding queer youth. One girl, Mia, reminded us of ourselves, abandoned, resilient. Mentoring her brought purpose. As Mia thrived, so did we. Our family grew, fostering her temporarily, then adopting. Highs and lows wove together. A promotion for Elena meant relocation to D.C. I hesitated, my roots in New York deep. Debates ensued. This is my dream, she argued. Mine too, here, I countered. Compromise. We moved but kept the cabin for retreats. In D.C., new challenges, politics, bureaucracy. Elena navigated Capitol Hill briefings on police reform. I wrote for the Washington Post, exposing federal corruption. Our romance adapted date nights at Smithsonian galas, weekend hikes in Shenandoah. But a major conflict arose. Elena's task force investigated a senator with ties to my editor. Pressure mounted. Drop the story, Scarlett. I can't compromise integrity. The standoff tested us. She confided. I'm torn between you and the job. Resolution came through dialogue. We supported each other's truths, the story breaking without interference. The senator resigned, reforms passed. Elena's team lauded. In victory, we celebrated with a trip to Hawaii beaches, sunsets. We've weathered storms, she said, hand in mine. Back home, Mia graduated high school, our pride overflowing. You too showed me love wins, she said at the ceremony. Humanity's grace emerged in forgiveness. Elena reconciled fully with her family. Holidays became joyful. As we aged gracefully, reflections deepened. Our story, a lesbian romance amid American grit, embodied resilience. One evening, watching the Potomac sunset, Elena turned, "Thank you for choosing me every time." "Always," I replied. Decades later, in our twilight years, the cabin became our haven. At 60 retired, we spent days gardening, reading by the fire. Max's successors romped in the yard. Mia visited with grandkids. Memories flooded. The interrogation room spark, betrayals overcome, love's triumphs. Drama's echoes faded, replaced by peace. But life delivered one final twist. Elena's health declined, heart issues from stress. Hospital vigils tested my strength. "Don't leave me," I pleaded. She squeezed my hand. "Our story doesn't end here." Surgery succeeded, but recovery was slow. In those months, we penned a joint memoir sequel, Hearts Unbroken, sharing lessons for future generations. The book tour, virtual now, connected us with young queer couples. "Your resilience inspires," one said. Betrayal's last gasp. A documentary filmmaker twisted our narrative for sensationalism, implying Elena's complicity in Vargas's crimes. We sued, winning vindication. "Truth prevails," Elena declared in court. The win galvanized us. We founded scholarships for LGBTQ officers and journalists. As Elena mended, our bond shone brightest. Picnics, stargazing, simple joys. One autumn eve, under the same gazebo where we first kissed, she proposed again. Renew our vows? With family and friends, we did vows laced with wisdom. Through trials and tenderness, we choose love. The ceremony was poignant, tears of joy flowing. In the end, our tale concluded humanely. Not fairy tale perfect, but real. Elena passed peacefully at 75 in my arms, whispering, "I love you eternally." Grief consumed me, but legacy endured. I lived on, advocating until my last breath at 82. Our story, etched in books and hearts, proved love's power. Kicking down barriers, healing wounds, illuminating America's soul. A tale of two women bound by fate, who turned drama into destiny, romance into revolution.